Let's get this bread.
Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Jan, and this is Justifiably Jan. This is my first video on YouTube, and I'm gonna make it a story time because why not? Okay, so anyway, fast forward. I'm working at Walmart for about 3 months now. At that time, I think it was like about 3 months, and maybe longer. I don't really remember. Anyway, this guy came and he was working there for the summer because by that time I had graduated high school and it was summertime. So I was working there, not going to school, just working. And his name, we're going to call him Malcolm. And Malcolm, I had seen him around, but he wasn't really my type. Like, I was just like, I don't know, I wasn't into him, but I was like, he's okay. He was very nice. He's a very nice guy. But I just had never really spoken to him. I had seen him around. He kind of was like, I had seen him like looking at me, but it was like, people look at you all the time. Like, that doesn't mean they like you. So I wasn't paying Malcolm any mind or any attention. So a few weeks went by and he was like just saying hi, like, how are you doing and whatever. And then one day he was like, hey, today's my birthday. And I was like, oh, happy birthday. And he's like, thanks. He's like, you want to go on a date with me? And I was like, sure. Because like when it's someone's birthday, you can't really be mean and be like, no. Even though that's kind of what I wanted to say. But I was like, okay, well, Jan, it's his birthday. Be nice. So I was like, okay, sure. So that was like a Friday, I think. So he asked me out for the Saturday. So me being young and naive, I was like, Mom, do I get him something for his birthday? And she was like, yeah, why not? Like, just to be nice. So I got him some cologne that I thought smelled good. Like, I went to the store and I was like smelling colognes to see which one smelled good, and I picked that one. And then we messaged. He had me on Facebook, and then he had my number. So he messaged me or texted me and was like, hey, can we meet at Barnes & Noble and then go to dinner from there? And I was like, yeah, sure, no problem, because I'm very, what's the word? I'm very, like, I'm very flexible. I'm very flexible like that, and I'm like, I let things roll off my back sometimes. Like, I don't really make a big deal out of things. So I met him at the Barnes & Noble by my house. Barnes & Noble's by my house. Barnes & Noble? Barnes & Noble's. Whatever. I met him by my house, and then he got in my car, and I was like, okay. He's like, oh, he said he didn't have any gas, so he asked me if I could come get him, and I'm like, we just got paid yesterday. Like, what do you mean you don't have any gas? But I was like, okay, whatever. Like, that's none of my business. He had turned 19. Sorry, my eyelash is like really bothering me. So yeah, so I drove us to downtown West Palm, which is like City Place. It's a very nice area where you can get dinner and a movie and just hang out and whatever. So we went to dinner at this place called the Cheese something. I don't remember, because they closed it down. I think there's only like one location left in Florida, if it's still even around. It's like the Cheese something, or Cheeseburger. Oh my god, I used to love that place, but they had like found rodents and stuff, so they closed it down. I don't know. Oh, but anyway, so we're at the restaurant. We're outside. We're sitting outside. And I see like oh, I forgot to tell you what he was wearing. So when he gets into my car, or he's walking from his car to my car, I'm dressed nicely. Like, I have a nice blouse on. I probably have jeans on because I don't wear skirts, and like some nice like flats or something. He, I kid you not, is wearing like a baggy white t-shirt, like a really huge t-shirt, because he's very skinny. He was skinnier than me, and he's probably still skinnier than me. Some like basketball shorts, some socks, and some slides, like those Nike slides. And I'm thinking to myself, what are you wearing? Like, I'm literally dressed nice. Like, I'm dressed so nicely because it's a date, and you're coming like you just rolled up out of your bed, or like you just came from a basketball game. Like, let me return this date because I don't want it. Like, what? Throw the whole date away. Throw him away. So anyway, he gets in my car and we're at the restaurant. So we're sitting outside and I see these guys passing. They just keep, like, so many cute guys just keep walking by our table. And I'm looking at them because there's like a bar, like a bar right here to like that borders the restaurant. So it shows where the restaurant ends and the sidewalk begins. I don't really know how to explain it. But anyway, yeah, so the guys are walking by and I'm looking at them and I'm like, damn, they're dressed nicely. And I'm like thinking to myself, I should be on a date with you guys. Like, any one of you guys that just walked by, because this date isn't going anywhere. I should have cut it off right at that part. Like, him coming in my car, I should have been like, you know what? I am actually not feeling that well. Oh, and before I left my house, my mom was like, I was like, should I bring money? My mom was like, yeah, you always bring money. You never rely on a guy. Remember that. You always bring money on a date. Never rely on a guy. Like, mind you, he asked me out, okay? I'm not interested in this guy. I would never have asked out this guy. Just keep that in mind, okay? So the guys are walking by. I'm thinking that to myself, and he's on the other side of the table texting. He's on the other side of the table not talking to me. It's like dead silent. So I'm under the table like texting too, because he's not even under the table. He's just literally out and out texting. Like, I can see his phone. And I'm thinking to myself, what the heck kind of date is this? Like, I've never been on a date before, but I know that you're supposed to talk to your date. You're supposed to interact with your date. You're supposed to have a good time, be laughing with your date. Like, what? So, yeah, I'm under the table texting. I'm like, oh my God, this date is so bad, to my guy friends. Should I leave? Like, what do I do? Blah, blah, blah. He's like, oh, you should leave. You should definitely leave. Just put down your half of the check or whatever and get up and go. And I'm like, well, I drove us here. I drove him here. Like, I can't just leave. And he's like, no, just leave. And I'm like, that's so rude. Like, I can't. And then he's like, just say you don't feel well, just leave. And I'm like, no. Like, that's what rude people do. That's how people get karma. Like, I don't want karma. So, hold on. I should have taken his advice, because this guy has been on many dates before, and this is my first date. Oh. But Jan thinks she knows best, and she doesn't leave. So, yeah, another like 30 minutes goes by and we're still not talking. Then all of a sudden his phone rings and I'm like, okay, he's not going to answer that, because even though we haven't been talking, he's not going to be that rude, right? This bitch. He's like, oh, it's my grandma. And I'm thinking to myself, is that like a code name for someone? Like, is that supposed, like, I couldn't figure it out, but I think it was actually his grandma. So he answers it right there, and I'm just sitting there like, the waitress walks by and she's like looking at me and I'm looking at her and I'm like, and I'm looking at my phone, I'm looking at the cute guys walking by and I'm like, like, any one of you guys can just come sit down right here. Like, please save me. So he's done off the phone and he's like, oh, are you ready to go? And I'm like, yeah. So then the waitress comes over with her check, and before she can even get all the words out of her mouth, wait, did she? I think she said the whole thing, but before I can respond, he responds. So her question is, do you want one check or are you splitting it? Or like something along those lines. She's like, are you guys gonna split the check or is it on one? Before I can say, no, we're splitting it, he's like, no, we're splitting it. And I'm like, shouldn't we have discussed this first? How are you just gonna jump the gun like that? So I'm looking at the waiter and I'm looking at him. And then he looks at me and he's like, is that okay? And I'm like, and then the waitress puts down like our bills, like, because we split it. And mine was so much cheaper than his, but I'm still paying for his too. Like I'm a cheap date and I'm still paying for yours. Like, okay. Like, you can get the most expensive thing on the menu. It's okay, I'll pay for you. Like, what? Like, money isn't even an issue, but like the fact that he just jumped in and was like, no, we're splitting it. Like, first of all, my meal was like $10. It's just like $20. Like, how? I'm just kidding. I don't really remember how much it was, but I'm just saying, like, he bought something that was like twice as much as what I paid or what mine was. Anyway, so he's like, oh, you want to go see a movie? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And in my head, I'm like, what are you doing, Jan? You know that you didn't have a good time at dinner, so why would you want to go see a movie and prolong this date with this guy? And I'm like, just basically, I was having an out-of-body experience because my mind was saying one thing, my mind was saying one thing and my mouth was saying the complete opposite. Like, someone took over my body. That's how I felt. Like, I was just watching myself have a train wreck of a date. So, we walk with our goodie bags of food. And we're going to the movies now. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe the movie part of the date will be better. Because I'm so optimistic. Literally way too optimistic for my own good. So, we get to the movies and we're waiting in line to pay. And then it's his turn. So the lady's like, next. Or actually, it's our turn. So she says next and I walk up with him. And then she's like, how many? And I'm like, okay, he's going to say 2. He's like, 1 for Ice Age, whatever movie Ice Age it was. And I'm like, in my head, this again. So he pays for his own ticket and then I pay for mine and we go inside and we're watching the movie, and I kid you not, I probably watched about 5 minutes of that movie because I'm in there texting. He's literally so enraptured in the movie. He's so into the movie. He didn't take his eyes off the movie once. I don't think he did. And I'm texting, I'm like to my guy friend, oh my god, we're watching Ice Age, let's just say it was a meltdown. I don't think it was, but oh my god, we're watching Ice Age the Meltdown. Oh my god, he didn't even pay for my ticket. Oh my god, this and that. And then he's saying again, oh, just leave. And I'm like, as I said before, I drove us here. I can't just leave. He's like, who cares? And I'm like, I cannot do that. I'm not mean. He's like, you need to start being mean because this guy is just taking advantage of you and this and that. And I'm like, I just can't do it. And then, so when the movie's done, he's like, oh, do you want to get ice cream? I was like, nope, we're leaving. I can't, I'm tired. Just anything to end this date because it's torture. And I know for a fact I would have had to pay for my own ice cream. And I spent a lot of money already on this date. I guess that's what guys feel. Only they would have paid for both meals and then the movie. So, if he had paid for the dinner, I would have paid for the movie, you know? But, he didn't even... So, anyway, I drive back to Barnes & Noble. And then he's like, I had a great time. And I'm, thinking to myself, were you not on this were you not at the same date I was at? Because where did you have a great time? It wasn't with me. Must have been in your head. And I was like, And he's like, we should do this again sometime. And I was like, And then he like leans over to give me a kiss, and I'm just like, and then his face is like mad. Like, he looks so mad. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, what are you mad about? Like, this was a terrible date. You don't deserve a kiss. And then he like gets up and like slams my door and storms off, like, okay, drama queen, goodbye. And then I see him at work on Monday, and I'm like, he's like, hi, and I'm like, hey. And then I tell my coworkers and stuff what a bad date I had, and then we just talk about it like the whole time. And then a couple weeks later, he messages me on Facebook, and he's like, oh, do you want to go on a second date? And I was like, no, I'm seeing someone. I really wasn't, but I was definitely not going out with him again. And then what happened? So after I said, no, I'm seeing someone, he gets so mad that he posts a status about me. Like, how passive aggressive can you be? So then he's like, when you think that you know someone, and then and she's the sweetest, nicest person that you think you've ever met, and then you find out that she's a hoe. And he's like, this is the second time that's happened to me. And I read it because it pops up on my timeline, obviously. I'm reading it, and then I'm like, is he talking about me? At that time, there was nothing. We didn't know what shade was. Like, I don't think that was a thing back then. So I'm like, is this post about me? But I was like, don't jump to conclusions, Jan, because it could be about anyone. But I'm like, I literally just rejected this guy. Like, who is he going to be talking about besides me? Or who can he be talking about besides me? So I like text him, and I'm like, hey, was your status about me? He's like, no, it wasn't about you. And I was like, yeah, it was definitely about me. And he's like, yeah, it was about you because blah, 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 blah. I don't even know what he said. And then he has the audacity, like, I stopped responding, and then he has the audacity to message me on Facebook and be like, who are you texting, in all caps? Like, mind your own business. We're not dating. What do you mean, who am I texting? So it was like, I don't remember what I said, but I just remember him saying that. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, I'm so glad I didn't get involved with this guy, because he just seems like way too, like, what's the word? Possessive, and we're not even dating. I can't with possessive people. Like, I need my space. You need space. You don't own me. I can text whoever I want to text. Whomever I want to text. So, a couple days later, he posts a status, and this time he has the courage, surprisingly, to tag me in it. He's like, you're gonna wish, but it's gonna be too late. Gonna wish what, sir? Like, I'm confused. Are you the president of the United States? Did I miss my chance to be pardoned? Like, no. So what am I gonna wish and regret? Because you're not some hot thing. No. You're not Channing Tatum. You're not Ryan Reynolds. You're not all the cute guys that I've ever had a crush on. Like, you're not any of them. You're just like, on a scale of 1 to 10. You're not even like on the scale. You're just an So I'm not gonna regret anything. And I still don't regret anything, because I looked him up the other day, and he's still ain't. Just kidding. I'm not gonna say the word. But you get the drift. He's just not. He's not anything big. He's not some guy that found the cure to cancer. He didn't find the cure for AIDS. Like, you didn't do anything significant. So what am I gonna wish for? I did not miss my chance. Like, I make my own chances. I make my own fate. You know what I mean? So take that attitude somewhere else. Yeah, so we didn't talk again after that summer. And a couple years ago, I saw him in Walmart, like the one by me. And like I literally spun around so quick because I was like, I'm not letting him see me. I looked good, but like I just didn't want him to see me. Like I don't want anything to do with him. And yeah, just go about your business and I'll go about mine. What else? Like I'll find some of the messages on Facebook and I'll insert them so you guys can see what was said for yourselves. I don't have like the actual text messages because that was like a long time ago, like different phones ago. I don't have those. Back in those days I would delete everything anyway. Like I keep things now kind of. So yeah. But yeah, that was the story of my first dates. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I hope you guys stick around to see my next videos and get to know me better. And I hope to get to know you guys too. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Bye.
I'm sorry I'm so cheesy.